Hi, everybody. Please welcome back our Chief Operating Officer, Kim Congleton, who's here to talk with us about the Power Platform. We've already covered an overview of the three major components with Power BI, Power Automate, and Power Apps. And we wanted to have one last episode to talk to you about how to get started with these projects on your own. Kim, I know that you had quite the journey of learning as you were learning about these different things. Why don't you share some of the key findings that you had as you were learning about how to use the Power Platform?
Yeah, so it was pretty funny. I kind of was like, all right, where am I going to start? So let me just Google, Power Platform and see what comes up. In the past, like, I don't know, 10 years ago, the issue was actually finding resources. Now it's almost like there's too many resources. So you're like, oh my God, they came up with like hundreds of sources on the Power Platform. So I kind of was like, well, let's just go look at Microsoft Learning. Let's start at the beginning, right? They offer, if everybody's been on the Microsoft Learn website, you can see all the different things that they have there. So I'm like, let me just start there. And I think I clicked on Microsoft's blog, and like within 10 minutes, I was already distracted, had installed the process automation tool, and was doing a Power Automate flow before I realized I was so off track. So I was like, okay, let me just take a step back and let me just think through how I really should go about starting. So kind of the first thing was I realized I should very quickly, I should have a couple of specific projects in mind, right? Like a couple of specific things I want to develop and then start from there. So, the biggest one was I'm familiar with Power BI. I've done data warehouses. I've done reporting all throughout my career. So I was like, that makes the most sense. Let's just start digging into Power BI a little bit more. So that's kind of how I picked somewhere to start. And, that way I could narrow down my search. And then there's still a ton of resources, but I'm like, I'm only going to pick one or two, and let's get started using those two resources.
Yep, fantastic. So lots of good resources out there, but so many that it's easy to
Yes.
get down the rabbit hole with that. So,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
I know that one of the things that you also did is that you got involved with a mentor. You've been involved in some hackathons and learning groups. What has the experience been with that, and how has that helped with your learning for this?
Yeah, I can't stress enough how important a good mentor is. And, we're lucky enough to have Belinda Allen, who's Miss Belinda Allen, who is an MVP and has an amazing blog. So that was one of the first two resources that I picked as well. And then being able to have her as a mentor is like unbelievable. So getting that mentor, being able to bounce things off them, knowing that they're not going to say, really there's no stupid question. I mean, I'm not afraid to ask a question. It sounds stupid. It really doesn't bother me, but having that mentor that encourages you to ask anything no matter what has been incredibly valuable. Also, getting involved with a learning group. So Belinda was able to hook me up with a learning group that happens on Saturday mornings, and that's been crazy good to hear. Like, it's people from all different industries, from all different, some consultants, some users, some partners. It's just been amazing to hear. And there's a lot of times where you kind of just sit there and just try and absorb everything like be a sponge. And it really can be like drinking from a fire hose, but that's been crazy as well.
Yeah, fantastic. What a nice opportunity to have a learning group, other people who are interested in learning about these same things.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
how did you get to that focused goal? What helped you to choose what were good candidates for learning these products?
Yeah. So we've always, I'm always kind of thinking about, hey, how can I solve a problem? And for me, you look at the Microsoft stuff and there's like the app in a day, classes and all of that type of stuff. But for me, I learned something much more if I can apply it right away.
Mm-hmm.
So for us, we had some things that we've been brainstorming for a long time that we wanted some problems we want to solve for our customers, some solutions we would like to build. So it makes it much easier to take one of those and then figure out how to do that. One of the things that we see a lot with our customers was like, for example, new item setup.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of times that has to go through multiple departments before it's actually approved. Each person has to do their own piece, and all of that has to happen before you can even sell that item or bring that item into inventory. So with the Power Platform, there's the ability to create something that's really powerful that will enable that before it even gets into BC. So it can build that solution outside of the system. So having something like that to work on as you learn, it just makes it stick in your mind so much better.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. So one question that I hear from a lot of people is, where can they find resources to do this kind of work for them? So who is doing work in the Power Platform arena, and how can you find them? What's your answer for that?
Well, obviously it's us, but I mean, it is hard. Everybody knows right now it's really hard to find resources.
Yeah.
It's hard for everybody to find resources. One of the things that we're really working on developing is some workshop classes, because it's something we've started with Power BI, and we want to extend that to the other Power Platform as well,
Mm-hmm.
where we workshop and teach you how to build a solution that you really need.
Yep.
I just feel like it's easier way to teach somebody how to do it, and we always like to teach somebody how to fish for themselves.
Yeah, I love that approach because it addresses the miscommunication that can sometimes happen when a company comes up with a project, they hand it off to an outside consultant or a developer, and they go away and they come back and it's not at all what they envisioned, right? So this takes care of that communication process throughout so that there aren't any misfires on that.
Yeah, and there's also, I mean, to your point, there's a sense of ownership, right? And we're going to teach you how to maintain it after we go away. So to me, it's, I don't know, I guess I just find, especially with us in how we teach our classes, the classes that we have workshops at the end of the class, I feel like it just sticks in people's mind better, and it sticks in their mind better when they're working on an actual solution for their company.
Yep.
It's crazy how they really get invested in that, and they really they definitely pay attention. You don't have to worry about somebody falling asleep during one of those.
Yeah, absolutely. They're hands on the whole time, and the gears are going, the light bulbs are going off, and it really is a neat experience to see people solve problems for their business with that process.
Yes.
Fantastic. Well, I think that's the end of our session today. Is there any last thoughts you have for people about the Power Platform and what you'd like them to know?
Oh, wow. I mean, I want them to learn everything about it, obviously. I just think, everybody should start kind of thinking about how they can use this tool to really build efficient solutions for their companies and their processes.
Yep. Fantastic. Well, thanks so much for being here, Kim, and sharing so much about the Power Platform. I'm very much looking forward to seeing all of the different things that we develop in the next year as we continue to extend our offerings in this area also.
Thanks for having me, Carrie. This has been a lot of fun. So I hope people reach out, and I always love talking about the Power Platform.
I'm Carrie Peters. Thank you for tuning in to the Get Your New View podcast. For more episodes like this on YouTube, click the subscribe button and ring the bell to ensure that you get notified whenever new content comes out. If you're listening to the audio podcast, please share an honest review on Apple Podcasts. If you are ready to rethink today for tomorrow, look for the link below and contact us to speak with our expert team. You won't find the level of no-nonsense real-world experience we offer anywhere else, and we're here to put that experience to work for you.